Creature, level 7 upgrade. This upgrade is going to be really quick and very easy. Well, at least on camera. I'm going to go ahead and paint the top of the receiver box green as well as the gearbox cover. And I'm going to be using the same paint as I did for the body. It's a little transparent, so I'm going to be putting a layer of silver down first. It'll make this color pop just right. So I'm going to start off by removing this. It's held in with 2 screws. And I'm going to be removing all 4 of these screws so I can get these 2 top pieces. There's the pieces I'm going to be painting. All I have to do is take the rubber off there and cover this little clear piece with some Scotch tape. Now it's time to do some silver paint. Parts are silver, now I need to do the green. There's going to be one more thing that I'm going to be painting on Creature, and that would be the tire rims. Now originally I would like to do this outside rim, however that's not going to be a good idea because it's really exposed to impact, and believe me, it will be scratched off really quickly. But these inner spokes are perfect. So I'm going to be painting those green and leaving everything else as is. Tires have been taped and they're ready to be painted. Just like the other parts, silver and then green. Now it's time to get to the steering bell cranks and servo saver. There's only one screw that holds that onto the servo. I took that out. 2 screws right here and 2 screws right here, and that holds on the skid plate. There's a nut that holds on the turnbuckle. Wait, where is it? There it is. The turnbuckle to the steering bell crank. I took that off on each side, so push that down, pull this up, and there's only 2 screws holding this together. That would be these 2 right here. I'm going to take those off as well as removing the arms, which are just all basic simple little screws. And I'm going to be getting the steering bell cranks and servo saver into the die. One last thing I should tell you before I toss these into the die. There are plastic bushings in there. I'm going to be taking those out and in the end be replacing them with metal bushings. And of course I'm going to be taking these 2 screws out because I really have no reason to dye those. So on to the die. And there they are after being dyed. I went ahead and put the bushings in, but besides that you can see they turned out jet black. Also, I had to use an air compressor to get all the water out of there because I didn't want that spring rusting. Now it's time to just go ahead and put everything back together. And there's everything after it's been installed, and I have to say it looks a hell of a lot better. Now onto the parts that I painted. There's a receiver box and gear cover, and you can see they turned out perfect. Now it's time to reinstall them. Check that out. I think it turned out perfect. As for the tires, they also turned out perfect. I went ahead and got a silver paint pen and I did all the rivets along the edge just to give it a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and install these puppies and see what it looks like all together. Everything's back in place and looking better than ever. There's only one thing I have to complain about. I didn't cover the tire up completely with tape, and you can see a little bit of the paint got on there. But don't worry, that'll be rubbed off really quickly from me just driving around. Other than that, I mean, Creature looks just awesome. I love this look. I mean, this almost looks anodized, which is just a huge perk. I mean, that matches the same exact color as shock caps. And with the spokes being that color as well, it really brings out the aluminum wheel nuts too. So, and those rivets. I mean, that was just something I thought of at the last moment, but it really pulled it all together. Awesome. Just simply awesome. And that was Creature's level 7 upgrade.